Thank you for joining us again for another Chamber Talk this week. I'm Jason Strong, Director of the Fairfield Media Center, and I'm here with Director Mindy McAdams with the Fairfield Area Chamber of Commerce. And, as we go into April here, we're past April Fool's Day at this point, so you can believe everything we say. We're not going to try to pull your leg. But, you got that spring weather kicking in, and along with that, spring events trying to take off at the exact same time. So what's going on with the Chamber Chatter, and what do you guys have coming up at the Chamber of Commerce?
So the awards banquet is right around the corner, April 24th, and we are filling up. If you have not gotten your table or your seat, you're going to want to do that very soon because it looks like we may have to rent tables this year.
That's an awesome problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, but it is it's great. It's great. Everything's great. All the winners have been notified except for the Citizen of the Years, which is top secret. So we're getting excited. Watch Chamber Chatter this week to find out the menu. We know the theme, Kentucky Derby, big hats. This convention center is potentially going to have a mint julep special while supplies last for us. So
okay.
That's very exciting. Doors open at 5, social from 5:30 to 6:30, meal at 6:30, awards 7:30. We're out of there at 9 p.m. But, the Easter Bunny is also around the corner. And I happened to see a very lovely flyer that Addington Place of Fairfield, which is at 3000 West Madison, is planning to have 3,000 Easter eggs at their Easter egg hunts. Wow. I saw the flyer. I was like, whoa. I mean, I'm a grandma that goes overboard, right? Like, we have hundreds of eggs for my grandchildren. And I thought, 3,000. Oh, my. No, thank you. And then there's lots of Easter egg hunts coming up. So if you're having something for those holidays, let us know so we can get it. We'll have probably, I'm sure Claire will put together a special Easter edition because she's awesome sauce. And business after hours, we have a few of those open. So we need to get those filled up. The Lord's Cupboard is potentially talk about doing one in May. Speaking of the Lord's Cupboard, always keep them in mind. Our ambassadors this year have taken on a birthday bag. So if someone is regularly using that food pantry, the Lord's Cupboard or the mini food pantries or those things as their food source when they're running low on things, having a birthday, that's extras, right? So our ambassadors put together what are called birthday bags, and they sit on the shelf. And when people come in, they say, hey, my son or my daughter has a birthday coming up, and they get handed a bag. And in that bag, there's a cake mix, there's frosting, there's candles, there's sprinkles, there's birthday plates, there's birthday napkins, there's balloons, potentially some streamers, maybe some blow-up horns. My ambassadors put them together.
That is awesome.
And so there are about 40 of them in my office that they put together as part of their holiday party and their spring donations. And then each of my ambassadors kind of take a turn. So Beaner Funeral Home, Washington State Bank Community, First Credit Union, Livewire, all of them have participated and done birthday bags. But this is something that you can do too. These are families that really need our help, and that birthday cake may be the only thing that they get for their birthday. And it helps those folks who are really struggling because if we don't help them, who's going to help you when you're there? So for me, as someone who has been in that situation, it's important for me to support those types of things. And our food pantry is seeing record number of people. The cost of everything has gone up and businesses are struggling. So there's been some, we've all seen it in the news. There's been layoffs at bigger organizations. So the more that we can do to support our community, the better off we all are.
Exactly. We're all in this boat together. And that's what it really boils down to. Absolutely. So anything that you can do to help out your neighbor, to go the extra mile. Yeah. Again, the whole mentality, if I were in that position, would I want somebody to be there to help me? And that's exactly what it is. And why the Lord's Cupboard is such an important resource for our community.
Absolutely. So we're hoping to have her on soon so she can tell you all the other wonderful things that they do because I will get all of those numbers wrong. So the next thing that you need to get registered for is Blast Off. So Blast Off is our golf tournament. It's foursomes. The ladies are at the country club. The men are at the Walton Club. I had to think about that because it switches every year. And then I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so new this year, rather than doing the party in the Calcutta, we're doing an all chamber business after hours. So if you're a smaller business or an at-home business and you want to purchase a table, it's $30. You get a 10-foot table. You put your stuff out. You can sell things there. You can just promote your business, talk about what you do, all of those types of things. We will have, we'll purchase a keg, and we'll have some heavy apps to encourage people to come out. Golfers come out and golf a little bit, come meet these businesses. So this will be an all-chamber business after hours from 4 to 7 on June 5th. It's pregame for the blast-off on Friday, June 6th.
A lot on the docket.
So many things.
So many things.
Well, and of course, we could not talk if we didn't talk about Main Street. So we are applying to be a Main Street this year. We have a very wonderful steering committee of about 20 folks. You've seen a number of them walking around the square lately with their clipboards and their notebooks. They are doing assessments of the conditions of the building. They're finding out who owns it, how many apartments are upstairs. Are those apartments vacant? Are they full? Are they in good shape? What's the rent? What's the rent downstairs? Which vacancies there are? All of that information, because the Main Street application is intense, to say the least. And then we've got a committee that's been working on all the organizational documents. So articles of incorporations and bylaws and who's going to sit on the board and who's going to be the first president of the board. And then we have a fundraising group who's been out getting those pledges, because one of the things that it is going to be a separate 501c3. So all your donations are tax deductible. We are not asking for money right now. We are asking you to pledge that money, knowing that in August, when they say you're a Main Street, we can say, okay, now is when you send your money in. This is to pledge your support, and you have to be visionary, which is always hard, right? It's hard to support something you don't know what it's going to necessarily be in the end, right? This is a 501c3. For us, the Chamber, Grow Fairfield, Visit Fairfield in the city. Downtown is on all of our radars. It's one of the balls that we juggle in our system, but it's also one of the balls that regularly falls to the ground and waits for us to have an extra hand to grab it. So this would create one organization whose sole purpose is to keep downtown on all of our radars all of the time, so that we don't have the backslide that we've had.
Now I know I show up to the city council meetings and things of that nature, and just different meetings in general. Mm-hmm. And I know for my sake, I know that there's people out there who, one, have never heard of this. And there's even confusion on who's doing the funding. Is the city funding this? Is it private funds, things of that? So there is information out there. There have been meetings that have been recorded on this. You can find them on the Fairfield Media Center YouTube channel. and there are people you can contact to ask questions to if you don't understand what's going on.
Ask. Don't make up stuff.
Don't make up stuff. All that's going to do is hurt people and hurt the end goal of benefiting Fairfield.
Absolutely.
And so it's, nobody's, this isn't like some sort of malicious thing. This is a good thing. This is something our community needs, and it opens up a lot of other grant opportunities and things that we would not have access to.
Absolutely.
And so like I said, the information's out there. You do have to do your due diligence. You do have to call somebody or go out and find it. Be aware of what's going on in your community. And one of the great things about that is you can plug into the Chamber Chatter at fairfieldiowa.com, which that will give you the information on when these meetings are happening, who you can go to, who you can contact to ask the questions to. So,
and Main Street has a Facebook page now, so we will be putting out information through that Facebook page that is strictly about Main Street. Main Street also has a page on the Chamber website for information there, and the pledge form. The pledge form is super important. We've been very fortunate to have a donor step up who came up with $20,000 and challenged the entities trying to get Main Street off of the ground. And the Chamber and Grow Fairfield both matched that. The city at the next council meeting will solidify their pledge. On Monday, the supervisors will solidify their pledge, and we're getting pledges every day. And if you, like I always say, if you can't give money, give of time or talent. You can write a letter of support. If funding is not for you, if you don't have those extra funds, we understand not everyone is able to do that, but every dollar counts. You can just write a letter of support why you think it would be important for Main Street to come to town. And if you want, we've got some generic letters that you can take and change up to meet your own wording. So support Main Street, because our downtown is our living room, and our living room needs a maid to come and do some work.
That's a good way to put it.
Exactly.
It's a bit of a train wreck. I didn't break a heel coming over today, though, so I'm feeling pretty fancy.
Everything is a constant work in progress. Even when you get to an end, you're at the end of a project,
Yep.
There's still that continued maintenance. There's still the continued portion of moving forward. And some people will go, oh, it's completed. It's done. We don't have to think about it anymore. And that's not really how it works.
So we need your support by May 1st. May 1st is the deadline to support, to send in a pledge or a letter of support so we can get the application put together.
All that being said, we have an important guest.
My friend Ray's back. Hi, Ray.
Hi.
Okay, so Ray is Be My Own Bank,
Yep.
which I love that, by the way. It's my favorite. Okay, so you're back with new information.
Yeah, the last time I was here, I was talking about Be My Own Bank, and that is it's education around how banking works and what banks do to make money and all this, and that it's really a concept or it's a function, I should say. The concept of Be My Own Bank is a way to think around it. And the tool, there's all kinds of financial tools out there, and they all do certain things, just like, a hammer bangs on a nail and a saw cuts some wood. You wouldn't use a hammer to cut something, so a specific tool does a specific thing. So in the concept that I talked about last time, Be My Own Bank, it's whole life insurance is the tool. And most people don't really understand how whole life can be designed and grow the cash value much faster than a traditional whole life policy. Traditionally, whole life was sold as a death benefit product. Mm-hmm. But about 40 years ago, the life insurance companies that were mutual, and that's very distinctive, there's mutual and there's stock insurance companies. The majority are stock. There's probably 25, 30 that are mutual, truly mutual. And what that allows you to be is part owner of the insurance company when you start a policy with them. And so instead of the dividends going to the stockholders of an insurance company, they go to the owners, policyholders, which you can accelerate the cash value, which also is chasing the death benefit, which that also grows. So about, I want to say 6-7 months ago, my niece asked my brother, who also does the same Be My Own Bank kind of concept, Dad, how do you know that when somebody approaches you about this concept, that's actually the best thing for them to do? And he said, I don't know. And then he posed the question to me, told me the story. And I said, yeah, that's been a question that's been running around in my head, but I didn't know how to ask it. And so it's great that she just point blank.
She came up with it and formulated it for
Yeah,
you.
it was just an organic thought that she had. And that started to run around in my head. And I was also a little concerned about the practitioners that were in the same space that I'm in, and they were doing podcasts and YouTubes, and they were saying, oh, you got to do it this way. Oh, you got to do it. Oh, no, not that way. This guy's not doing it right, or that gal is not doing it right. Do it this way. And I was like, we're all in this together, as you were just talking about here in the town.
Right.
That we're all connected, and that, saying that isn't right and this isn't right isn't helpful. And so it felt like the ground was shaking under me, and I was like, I really want something that I can actually be sure that somebody will benefit from this now. Okay, so a life insurance policy, whole life insurance policy now. And I say it like that because, well, let me just back up a little bit. If you had two portfolios that were exactly the same, but one had whole life dividend paying life insurance in it and the other one didn't, the one that has the whole life is going to outperform the other one. It's going to be a better mechanism, I'll call it, a better design. You can't deny that. I can mathematically show that. So I was looking for something that could give me a holistic view of somebody's financial life. And lo and behold, the good Lord just plopped this guy right in front of me. I mean, it was just, I was thinking about it, and probably 30 days later, I was on a call with this gentleman down in Florida, and he has crazy number of calculators, but specifically one that can show somebody's what we'll call the lifetime income process. Because here's the question that boomers are asking. Am I going to have enough money throughout my entire life? That is the number one question that they ask themselves, and that's the number one fear. They'd actually prefer to die than to run out of money. I mean, it's statistically shown. People are doing, what do we call those? They're asking people, and that's what the answer is, that they're actually afraid that they're going to run out of money. But the lifetime income cash flow ratio that this system is will literally put everything in that they have right now, today, and show them whether they will fall off I'll call it the inflation curve or not. And when I show this to people, a lot of them, whoa, that's not good. And I'll say, well, actually it is good, because now you know where you are and what you can do to get it back on the line. And so I just like to show just a little graph here on this whiteboard behind me, just to give you an idea of the thinking around why you might want to contact me and have me build a model for you. Lifetime income process model is what we call it. And there's no charge to this. This is just something I do for everybody, because I really just want to help. I also, I'm going to give you a little plug. I know I'm kind of bouncing around here, but while I'm thinking of it, I want to invite anybody that's interested to go to a financial summit that's happening June 16th, 17th, and 18th down in Franklin, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville. It's got the top people in the US and Canada coming to this event, and they have opened it up to the public. It's usually just for advisors, financial advisors or financial planners or insurance people. That's usually who it's open to, but Caleb Gillum has opened it up to the general public, so anybody can go. And if you contact me, if you're interested in seeing what it is, I'll also provide you with a 20% discount coupon to the thing. So you can attend this 3-day event for around $300, which is, the value you're going to get from it it's astounding, the people that are there. I mean, they're top performers. So I just think about that. You really should consider. I've got actually some gentleman here that's my client here in town that we're going to travel down together and go to it. So I just want to get some thinking around this graph that I'm going to draw. And I'd like to just suggest a couple of questions to be thinking about when you're looking at this. And I've already touched on one, and that is the worry about running out of money that most people have. And that wouldn't you, if there was a way for you to have more certainty about where you are and where you want to go, would you be inclined to reach out and contact us? So think about that. But I just want to show you a quick little graph. Just takes a couple minutes.
We're mathing.
Everyone loves math.
We're mathing.
Yeah, and it's really not even that we're mathing yet. It's really just to show what's going on in someone's life. Okay, so this is just our cash flow ratio. Okay, this line right here is your standard of living. All right, I'm not really great at writing out in space here. But so here's your standard of living. This is you at 100 years old. And then there's a little thing in here. We'll just put it, or I'll explain that in a minute. But what we have here is a curve, right? Over time, this is your standard of living here. Just say, for instance, you're making $100,000 a year, or $50,000, or whatever it is. The numbers don't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm talking.
I was going to say, I want to make $100,000 a year.
I'm not. Yeah.
Where do we sign up? I'll take it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's why I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. It doesn't matter the number.
Yes.
Because if I'm talking to somebody that's $20,000 a year or $2 million a year or whatever it is, it's the same conversation. It really is.
Absolutely.
So this is, just say 100, all right? And we're living out to 100 because everybody's living longer. A lot of people are living.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's more centurions on the planet now than ever before, right? So this right here is what most people are after at some point in their life, which is retirement. R for retirement. All right, so once you retire, you're going to be getting, maybe you'll start up Social Security, maybe you won't. Maybe you have a pension and you have some investments. But you go out a few years, and these investments that you have accumulated, you've used them up, right? And so what happens, well, yeah, like that. We'll do it like that. And what happens over time, this curve, which is inflation, all right, I'm just going to say inflation, so you remember this. This is a curve you don't control, I don't control, nobody controls it. Well, we could say that the central banks control it in a way. But this curve, we have no control over it. But what we do have control over is how much we make and save, okay? You know, money is really simple, actually. We've complicated it. You know, the advisors, the Wall Streeters have made it complex for a reason, but it's really very simple. And what it is that, well, let's just do it over here. Money can only do one of two things. You can either spend it, sorry for it being sideways, or save it. Right? That's the only two things you can do with money. The question is, where are you spending it and where are you saving it? Because those tools that you use to save it, be it a 401k, an IRA, pension, annuities, whatever it is, life insurance, they all do certain things in a certain way, and they affect this curve. But what happens is you run out of your investments and you keep getting further and further away from this line, which means that your standard of living goes down. So what we want to have happen is we want to keep you, oh, look at that, the green, we want to keep you on this line all your entire life. And so it's a math problem, just like you were saying, Mindy. It's a math problem because math calculators can show you exactly where you are and where you fall off that line. So if you fall off that line in here, excuse me, if you fall off here and you live to be 100, that 50,000 or 20,000, you know, Social Security and everything else, it becomes less valuable and less valuable. And so your standard of living goes down. A lot of people will say, well, I won't have any mortgage, I'll be in a lower tax bracket. And I would ask about the lower tax bracket, do you want to live on less? Probably, I don't. You know, I just know that I'd rather not do that.
Same.
And so what we want to try to do is help people stay on this line. And then once we are out to that 100, and I could change it to 110, whatever somebody wants. Once you're on that to 100 or close to that, you know, 95 or whatever, then we start to work on legacy. start building more capital out into spaces that you can donate to the town, donate to the church, wherever you don't give it to your grandkids, whatever it is. Yep. And so this approach, rather than just selling somebody a life insurance policy, which probably won't hurt them, but with this, I know exactly which tool to use to get to where they want to go, where you want to go. And so this becomes first, I ask for financials from somebody. We ask for lots of stuff. So if you contact me, you'll know what it is. We get that information, plug it into the software, see your model, and then see what we can do to get you back on the line, because 98% of the time that we do this, people are off the line, including myself. And so I want to get back on this line and then grow the wealth and legacy and all of that. But you see where you are, figure out a strategy. And when you figure out the strategy that you want to go after at this time, the product will just show itself. You'll say, oh, it's that tool or it's this tool, rather than just saying it's life insurance or it's annuities or it's a 401k. This will actually give you more certainty. And so that was one of the questions. Wouldn't you like to do it? Would grow your wealth with more certainty. And anyway, so
Fabulous.
That's what we've added as a service. And actually, it's the beginning. I have clients already, and I'm taking them through this. It's almost like backstepping with them and then move forward. And everybody I have done this little presentation with, generally it takes 5 minutes or less. But I'll quickly go through it, and everybody has said, I want that. I want you to do that for me. And it's extremely rewarding when they can see, okay, this tool, I need this tool to do this, because that's what it's showing them. It's not me telling them. It's actually the math and the strategy telling them, this is what you'd like to do, so this is the tool. And so I'm not licensed for selling stocks or anything like that, but annuities and life insurance, and certainly planning and planning, like you were making the point about the town. When you become a downtown, what was the term for the?
Main Street?
Main Street. So when you become a Main Street, it's not the end when the project is necessarily over. It's never over. And it's the same with this. The planning, ing, it's continuing for the rest of your life. And so anyway, that's what we've taken on, and it adds a lot of work for me, but the reward, the feeling that you have, and the way that people light up when they see, oh, I could do that, and that could change this. So we can actually do things like show whether somebody should pay off their mortgage early or not, refinance. Somebody might say, well, I'm 60 years old, but we'd like to build a new house. And we can show them exactly what that will do to their model. So then they might decide, well, maybe we should downsize that house. Instead of building a 3,000, let's build a 2,000 square foot house. You can show anything, buying a car, whatever it is. So it's awesome.
Very nice. So if somebody wants to do this and they want you to do their magic
model
formula, how do they get a hold of you?
You can reach me at info@bemyownbank.com. You can reach me on the phone at 641-919-5529.
And you can find him in the directory at fairfieldiowa.com.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited. I'm gonna set up an appointment.
It's awesome seeing just how simple it is. Sometimes you just need somebody to either say, hey, here's the right tool for what you're wanting to do.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to know it, realize it. Like you said,
Yep.
things have been made more complicated than necessarily, type thing.
And we all want to retire someday.
And we all want to retire. We all want to be able to enjoy our retirement.
Yeah.
And not,
Be worried.
Work to the day you drop. Type thing.
Yeah, because we never know when that is.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right? Exactly.
Absolutely.
The other thing about this particular software, because I have been in the business for a number of years now, and I'm aware of a number of different softwares that can do something similar, not to, I don't think to the extent, in my opinion, but one of the reasons I loved this particular software was the simplicity of it. Instead of all these showing all these calculators and showing all these spreadsheets and everything, this is just a simple graph. Are you on the curve or off the curve? And what can we do to get you back on? The simplicity of it was what really attracted me. The not leading with products attracted me. And just the giving of saying, we don't charge for this. We're just here to help. That's it, really. And if somebody's strategy says it's a whole life policy, well, I hope you go through me for that. So anyway.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. All right, you need to set up an appointment too. Just saying.
I do. I honestly really do.
Because we need to retire someday.
So, because right now I have no retirement plan. My retirement plan is to work until I drop. So,
well, before the whole retirement idea ever came about, that's what people did.
Mm-hmm.
They, farmers dropped dead out in the field. That was very much the way it went.
Yeah, there's a reason why the phrase "work to the day you die" is there.
Yeah.
All that being said, thank you so much. I know I'm going to probably be looking into it. I want to get my wife sold on this idea. I will probably end up showing her this video. And I think it's a great tool, and the simplicity of it is just phenomenally awesome. Yep. Anything else that we need to hit?
Go to fairfieldiowa.com, scroll down halfway, and click subscribe to e-newsletter.
Once again, super, super simple, type thing, like two
Keep
clicks.
It simple.
2 clicks or so. So thank you for joining us again for Chamber Chatter, and we will be back next week with a new guest and new events. We'll see you then.